Let's get going with our May Carnicross. As we all know, the crazy pandemic turned things a bit upside down. However, we were really lucky that come May, some of those restrictions that had been in place have been lifted and we were able to run our Carnicross. Unfortunately, we had to limit the entry numbers, and this was probably a record for us. In less than 36 hours, we completely filled all of our spots and sold out of entries. So for those who missed out on our May Carnicross, sorry about that. Unfortunately, the entry numbers are out of our hands, and fingers crossed you can come to our next event. For those that don't know, we also ran a rally sprint the day before. I'll put the link up here to the rally sprint, and that'll explain a bit of what was going on over the weekend. However, this particular Sunday, well, the weather was fantastic the day before. Check out the rally sprint video. The following day, however, yeah, the weather was forecast to be pretty average and really strong winds came in. Now, we're not a stranger to strong winds at our venue. That happens from time to time. However, this time of year, all the farmers around the area are seeding. They're trying to get the crops in the ground, waiting for the rains, and heavy rain was forecast to come. And because of all that, it turned up an apocalyptic dust storm. Unfortunately, after partway through the day, the dust was just getting too bad and I couldn't film with the camera anymore. So thankfully, Ange, our intrepid photographer, kept on snapping the photos, and thanks Ange for using some of your photos in the video. We had 20 competitors for this one, and a great mix with 8 of those being juniors, and the kids were itching to race probably more so than the adults. And it didn't matter what kind of car you were driving, it was all good fun. We'd set quite a few tests during the day, however it was just going to depend on the weather as to how many we got through. Everybody jumped out of the blocks in the first test, and it wasn't long before the cones started falling. Charlie Stratus managed to find a cone out there, and so did Mike Joss. Surprisingly, the second test ran without a hitch at all. Everybody got through it without a drama. Couldn't say the same with the third test though. It was actually young Jamie Hewer who had actually featured in a previous video that we made, and he got 2 cones in the finish garage. Well done, Jamie. That was really jagged. It was a fun looking finish. It was the fourth test that probably was the funniest. Young Corey Thomas, driving the WRX, he actually clipped a tyre on his way towards the finish garage, and in doing so, the tyre stood up and then started rolling down the test towards the finish garage, nearly setting its own time. We had to race over to intercept it and stop it from continuing to roll. After lunch and onto another group of tests, and the weather was beginning to come in. On top of the thickening dust, we also had some slight spots of rain, just enough to make things uncomfortable and to make all the dust stick to the cars, not enough to damp it all down. Test 5 and Cam Pusey found a tyre in there. Test 6 and Karen Russell managed to clip a tyre in her WRX, and also unfortunately young Jack Ryan, he got a wrong way when he got a bit confused about which way to go at the fork in the road. If you haven't seen all the details on the Commodore, have a look at the rally sprint video, which will show you the monumental effort we went to get that car ready to go in time. So I'm glad for Jack that he managed to finish the day with that car. Test 7, and the visibility was getting pretty bad. Well, not in the test so much, but certainly the visibility around. We couldn't see more than maybe 100 metres in front of us. It was pretty crazy. Amongst all that, maybe we'll blame the dust for it, was Nicholas Stratus, who got himself a cone, and also young Tane Pusey found a cone in there as well. And with the weather closing in and 8 tests done, that was it for the day, and the top 10 were in. Chris Beard took 10th place in his Nissan Pulsar, and under the bonnet were some very shiny extractors. Dale Hands brought his thundering V8 Fairmont to 9th place. Rhett Aspey, that was sharing the Pulsar with Chris Beard, brought it home in 8th. Best sounding car of the weekend definitely went to the S15 Sylvia of Mike Joss. It had been good 20 years since he'd done a Carnicross, and it was great to see you out, mate, having a ball. And in the process, he took 7th place. 6th place and a return to competition, Craig Pusey in a somewhat battered looking Nissan Pulsar. Beating his dad by 1 spot, and also a welcome return to competition, Cam Pusey in 5th place. Karen Russell brought her shared WRX home in 4th. On the podium getting a swag of points towards the series, Tiana Chapman sharing the WRX with mum. 2nd place and pushing very hard, almost over the limit at a couple of places, Jared Sewell, bringing his naturally aspirated Subaru Liberty to 2nd. And that left the top spot, Kelly Thomas, bringing her WRX home for the win. Well done, Kel. Okay, so that just about wraps up our Carnicross. Thank you very much to Ange that braved the weather and the elements for the photos. They were awesome. It was great and something I had to be able to put in the video. Thank you. Also to all of our officials that came out and helped on the day. That was really much appreciated. And the competitors. It was great to see some faces and people out and about again because we, like most people, haven't had any contact with anybody for quite some time. So it was good to see some people out and racing again, and let's hope that continues. Our next event is in July, and I will also leave a link down below in the description for the results for this event. Please like, give us a thumbs up, share and subscribe to our videos, and I'll catch you again for the next one. Cheers.